So I've been following a high protein diet since February 2023, so almost a year now. And although to begin with it was a real challenge to eat a lot of protein, I'm now in a position where eating a lot of protein every day is pretty effortless. So I just want to share some of the things that I think about when it comes to protein intake, some of the tips and tricks that I follow in the hope that it can help you. These are really simple steps, but I guarantee that if you follow these steps, you will be able to consistently hit your protein target. So let's jump straight into point number one, the most crucial point. You must plan out your meals and you must focus on including at least one high protein ingredient in every single meal. I know that meal planning can sound like a real chore, but it doesn't have to be this big, complicated thing. You can just take a few minutes at the beginning of every week and plan out exactly what you're going to be eating. This way you can make sure that you're going to be getting enough protein throughout the day without having to stress about it last minute. Planning helps you avoid those moments where you've got all the way to dinner time and you've only eaten 10 grams of protein. And when you are planning your meals, try to incorporate at least one high protein ingredient in every single meal. If you think about it this way, you have 3 meals and every meal has 50 grams of protein, you've already hit your target. But this doesn't mean you have to just constantly eat chicken breast all the time, unless you like that type of thing. A really simple plan could look something like this. Breakfast, you could have some Greek yogurt. 200 grams would give you 20 grams of protein. You could have 3 eggs, another 18 grams of protein. For lunch, you could have some chicken breast and a salad, or chicken breast and pasta or something like that. 200 grams of chicken breast would give you 62 grams of protein. For dinner, maybe include salmon as your main ingredient and then have that with some sweet potato or rice or something like that. 200 grams of salmon will give you another 40 grams of protein. And throughout the day, just have 3 glasses of milk, and that's another 21 grams of protein. You add all of that up and you've got 163.7 grams of protein for a pretty manageable, simple type of plan. Now obviously I'm just focusing on the protein sources here. You can include whatever extra ingredients you want in here, but to me it doesn't really get much simpler than this. And don't forget about snacks either. So one thing that's been really helping me is to get some chicken breast and cut it up and weigh out 200 grams of chicken breast and then freeze it in containers. This way it's always available. So then when I need a snack, I can just defrost this chicken, add some seasoning, air fry it, add some ketchup or sweet chili sauce or something, and I have a pretty tasty chicken nugget snack and 60 grams of protein. Now, just like all of these things, the more you do it, the easier it will become, the faster it will become. So my advice would be to start planning out your meals now, and it may take a little bit longer, but in a few weeks' time, you'll be able to completely plan out your week's meals in a few minutes. Step 2, which is closely linked to this, is prepping your meals, i.e. cooking your meals in batches and then storing them in the refrigerator or the freezer, so that the meals you plan in step 1, you always have access to those. I can't emphasize enough how helpful meal prepping has been for me to hit my protein targets. If it's done correctly, it literally eliminates the possibility of you failing your diet because the food is already available. All you have to do is take it out of the fridge, heat it up, and go. I think when most people think of meal prepping, they think of hundreds of containers of chicken, broccoli, and rice. But meal prepping does not have to be like that at all. There are some really, really nice recipes that you can still make in batches. I want to give a big shout out to Chef Jack Ovens. He has a YouTube channel and I've been using his recipes for my meal prepping for months, and they are super, super good. And he includes all of the macros in his videos as well, so you can easily keep track of everything. So definitely check out that channel if you want some really tasty recipes for meal prepping. Now, there will be some days where even if you've planned your meals, even if you've cooked them in batches, life will get in the way and it will be a struggle to hit your protein targets. And this is where supplements come in. And this is step number 3, which is to use supplements wisely. So protein powders, protein shakes, protein bars, they're really cool. They're very convenient, and you can very simply just take your protein powder, mix it with some water, and you've got another 25 grams of protein. One thing that I've been doing, which has been really helpful, is to mix my powder in with other foods, and you can't really taste it. So this is why I would suggest you have a vanilla protein powder rather than a chocolate one, because the vanilla flavor tends to blend in with foods more. So for example, for me, when I have my Greek yogurt in the morning, I put in a scoop of vanilla protein powder as well, mix that all up, and now I've just got another 25 grams of protein and it just tastes like yogurt. It's so easy. Now you can do the same with smoothies. I know that people put it in with their oatmeal. I think you can do it with waffles as well. So try and find some foods which have some strong flavors, something you really like, mix in some protein powder with that, and without even knowing it, you've just got another 24, 25 grams of protein. Super, super simple. So supplements can be really, really useful on those days when you're very busy and hitting your protein target's going to be a challenge. You don't have time to sit down for a meal. But one thing that I have to keep reminding myself is that supplements are there to supplement your diet, not to replace food. Really, you don't need to supplement. If you can follow step number 1 and step number 2 really well, then you can easily get enough protein from just cooking the right food, unless you're going for like 300 grams of protein a day or something crazy like that. But I think for the majority of us, we can get the protein that we want just from choosing the right ingredients and planning everything out beforehand. So I think it's useful to think of protein supplements as a last resort rather than a part of the diet. So there we have it. As I say, very simple. Plan out your meals and focus on including at least one high protein ingredient with every meal. Cook your meals beforehand in batches so that you always have the correct meals available to you. And if you need to, supplement with some protein powders, protein bars, whatever. Focusing on these 3 things has helped me to routinely hit my protein targets, and I guarantee that if you follow these, you'll also be able to hit your protein targets on a very consistent basis. One last thing to mention about supplements is that they can be really expensive, and if you're not careful, they can absolutely skyrocket your grocery bills. That's why I would recommend you watch this video next. In it, I explain how I was able to halve my protein grocery bill just by making a few minor tweaks to my buying habits. I really hope you found this video useful. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I will see you in the next one.